Hi, I'm Brandy, and I would like to show you today how to make a Gumpaste Hibiscus. I've had a few requests to do a tutorial, and normally I do photo tutorials, but I decided to do something different today, give you a glimpse into me as well. So, okay, let me lower this. Hopefully you can see the lighting in here is not very good. I started out by buying some silk flowers. They came on a garland, and this is a silk hibiscus. I bought them just as a guide, but I realized that these would make a great former for the flower after a few, trial and error, and not being able to find a tutorial myself. I had to play around with it for a while. So I settled on this, and this is the perfect size and the perfect guide and former for you to use. So I'm going to set that aside. And what I also had, I happen to have an orchid petal mold. I do not have a cutter for these. I don't know, spur of the moment splurge, bought this, and luckily had it on hand when I went to make the hibiscus. So let's get started. Went ahead and made 4 petals in advance, so this does not take very long, but I'll show you how I did it. Go ahead and roll the gum paste out. Now this would probably be much easier if I had the appropriate cutter, but I do not. And therefore, this is what I'm doing. Okay, tap a little cornstarch on there. Put your gum paste in the mold. Press it. Okay, got a nice little impression there. Now I just take a pair of kitchen scissors, and I don't use the whole petal. I snip the bottom corners off of the petal, and I'll show you in a second. And I just kind of roughly trim around the outline. And I'm sure you can't see this, but I'll hold it up just a second. You'll have to forgive me for being boring. I'm used to doing karaoke on camera and not cake. So roughly cut it, and then I just pop it back in, just so I get a good impression. Give it another little press. Pop it out. And as you'll see, I kind of trim the corners off because you don't need all that bulk when you're doing this. And then I just kind of take the edges and feather them down a little bit, so you don't see the scissor marks or anything else. Okay. Now, and I hold this with the egg crate to keep it up. Now you'll see too that this is roughly the size of the petals already, so it's a good guide for where to place them. And you just set the first one in, and let's see if I can get that along. And just use your ball tool, stuff it down in there. Okay, and then I take some cotton and put it right under there just to give it a little bit of shape. And okay. And I take a paintbrush and a little bit of vodka and paint along the sides just so the petals will adhere to each other. Put the next one down in there, and a little more cotton. I don't like the petals resting directly on each other, so I put a little under the sides too, so that they don't stick right on each other. I really don't care for that look. You might. Okay, a little more vodka and another petal. cotton. Alright. You can kind of make these any shape you want. I'm sure you know that already. This was a spur-of-the-moment decision to do video instead of photographs, so there's no script, there was no practice, and this is what you're getting. Okay, my fourth petal. Oops, it's not going in. I got that one a little fat at the bottom. Okay. Some more cotton. That's starting to stick on that side. Don't want that. Now, the only tricky part to this is getting that last petal in. You gotta lift it up. Get your brush your vodka on there so it sticks. And then kind of separate them a little bit. Where's my ball tool? Punch it down in there, and then work it underneath that first petal. You're not going to get it perfect, but it doesn't really matter because you're sticking a stamen in there once it's done. I'm not showing you stamens because frankly I didn't like the way my stamens turned out, and I'm going to practice a little more, but they don't look too hard to do, so I'm sure you can make a really good stamen without my assistance. Alright, a little cotton under there, and make sure, I like to pick it up, put it in my hand, and then give it a good press and make sure all of those petals stick together right under there. And then you just kind of fiddle with it. Get the petals, you know, exactly how you want them. And I think this is very pretty. I really like this orchid mold. I think I got it from File and Holing, which I think is cakedeco.com or something like that. I'll probably put a link up as well. And there we go. And once it dries, you will have a very beautiful Gumpaste Hibiscus once you throw a stamen in there. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.